Hey everyone, I'm starting to get tired of setting up my miltersaw every time I need to cut something. All the work of putting it in place, plugging it in, doing adjustments, doing the cut and then packing it together to save space on my workbench. But later that day, as I was eating my snack for the day, I got an idea. Alright, the plan is basically to make an elevator for the miltersaw, so just with a push of a button the miltersaw would come down from the ceiling and be ready to operate. Then with the push of a button again it would go up in the ceiling and just be out of the way. Sounds simple, but I have a lot of questions like how is this thing gonna look like when I'm done, and will this thing even work, and what kind of mechanisms do I use to make it work? Well, to answer those kind of questions, I have made this simple prototype to see how everything is going to work out before I cut a hole in the roof. So just imagine this is the roof and everything else below is in the room. Then we need a way to pull the elevator up and down. But I have this old windshield wiper motor that I got from a friend and I'm really hoping that's going to be strong enough, but we'll see about that. And for the wheel bearings, I have made some homemade wheel bearings. Well, let's just say they aren't strong enough, because for some reason I printed them with 0% infill, so when I started testing them they kind of just fell apart. And I have no idea why I did that, but I gotta fix that. When I started to test the motor, I ran into so many problems. For example, when I powered on the motor, the axle started spinning, but pulley wouldn't spin. And then we have, when it started spinning, it wouldn't pull the actual weight because it was too much. So I started pulling the rope to like simulate the elevator weight, because this is going to be like a balance system. But still it couldn't handle it. And eventually the whole axle just popped off the motor. So because of that, I had to find a way to mount the axle better to the motor, so it wouldn't fall off again. So first I started by threading up a gear that was inside the motor, but that didn't work because when I tried spinning the axle, it would kind of tighten itself in one direction and unscrew itself in another direction, which would only make it usable in one direction. So I just figured I'm just gonna weld this thing and hope it's gonna work. So I'm not a welder, but even though it looks really bad, I'm betting that this is strong enough. So I assembled back the winch with better framing and support. Then I found some better shopping cart wheels to mount on the trolley system, I guess, to make the elevator go up and down more easily. So I installed those and it became so much better. Well, almost great. The whole rig kind of pulled itself to the side, which kind of made more friction, so I had to install wheels on the side as well to kind of stabilize it in the other direction. And by doing that, it worked just perfectly and it was so much more easier to pull. And even with better wheels and a more stabilized winch and also more counterweight, it still couldn't lift the whole elevator. So I think I'm starting to realize that this motor is just too weak for this project. Just to be sure, I wanted to measure out the exact amount of counterweight I needed for balancing the whole system, and I measured it to roughly around 22 kilograms without the miltersaw on the elevator. I mounted on some counterweight which was roughly around 22 kilograms, but yeah, this happened. After seeing that the concept kind of works, everything except the motor, I decided to take down the rig and start installing it in the actual place it's gonna be. And when it comes to the motor, I gotta find some other solution for that. You see, there's something you should know about the roof I'm just cutting in, which I wasn't aware of before after I cutted it. But this roof kind of contains asbestos, and if you know what asbestos is, it's so bad. And I was doing this without any filtration mask, which is just so bad. And by doing this, dust collected like all over the workshop and just contaminated the whole workshop. So I just made myself so much more extra work. And the thing is, you can't just use any vacuum cleaner to clean up the asbestos. Like, you need to use like this specialized vacuum cleaner with really fine filtration. Like, it's called H13 filtration or filter, which is really fine, so the asbestos won't like go straight to the filter and like fuzz up in the air and make everything just worse. Since the whole workshop is already contaminated, I figured I might as well just drill another hole for the exhaust for the laser cutter. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. Now, with the whole asbestos situation out of the way, we can continue with this project. And next step would be to install the elevator. How? That's a good question. So enjoy some music and let me figure this out. So there is a small problem here. The cables that supply one outlet right there and the lights, those light bulbs over there, the cables go straight over where the miltersaw is going to be. So I gotta cut those cables and move them and place them like somewhere around here instead of going straight over. So let's do that. Okay, a quick test to see if the bearings actually work as they should and if we are hitting the square perfectly. Only one way to find out. I'm gonna change the length of these two to match the actual operation height. These lengths are just from the prototype, that's why it's only going this far, but from the looks of it, it seems to be working just fine. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a great start. Next step is going to be to change these two to match the length of the actual operation height. Enjoy some more music, I guess. Right, the new beams are now replaced with the prototype ones, and I also made some more reinforcement on the actual bearings, so this is much more sturdier. The new problem is, or kind of still is the problem, when the elevator goes up, it kind of can't get all the way up. It stops here and the elevator is not all the way up yet. We still have like 20-30 centimeters to go, which is a lot. So we kind of have two choices. From this, we could either try to make this thing a little bit more tighter so we can get it a little bit more up, like we could get it all the way up here somehow, That's option number one. Option two would be to cut the beams to make them slightly shorter, but that would make the miltersaw be in like a much higher working height. Right now the miltersaw is roughly on a 90 centimeter working height, which is like perfect for cutting stuff. And if we cut the beams 10-20 centimeters, that would be like, that would increase the working height, which I really don't want. So I gotta think. There we go, the platform is now finished, and I also mounted the original asbestos plate, so it kind of looks like we were never here. Except there's a slight angle in the plate, which is intentional, because the idea is when we put on the miltersaw on the platform, I'm foreseeing that the platform is going to give in slightly, so that's why the whole platform is in a slight angle. How much it's going to give in, I'm not sure yet, but if it's going to give in too much or too little, I can adjust that on the platform slightly, but not too much. And some other good news, I could take down the platform down to 90 centimeters because I found another idea for the mounting of the attachment point of the platform. So it kind of looks like, yeah, I basically mounted the attachment point lower down so it goes more along with the roof. The only downside is that it made the attachment point slightly weaker, but it seems to be holding. I can't take down the platform right now because it's secured with screws, but when I tested it, I don't think I took any clips of that, but when I tested it, it seemed to be holding just fine. In the next episode, we're going to take a closer look at the gearbox, the electronics, and the counterweight, which are the only three categories remaining for actually getting this to work. There are a small few other details I gotta take care of, but those are the three main categories we're gonna do next video. So next video is gonna be really exciting to actually just push a button and it comes down, and push a button again and it goes up. But it's probably gonna be easier said than done, but we'll take that when we get there. So other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.